What if I told you that I need to ask you a question? Like a really important question, and I need your help. What if I told you the same question that winemakers all across the world ask themselves every single year? What's up, guys? My name is Schmeik. I own and operate a wine bar here in Budapest for 5 years, and I usually am here to tell you about the wild world of Hungarian wine, but today I'm just asking for your advice. See, in winemaking, I'm not sure if you know how it works. In the January, very much like now when it's cold, you're going to see a lot of winemakers going through the field and trimming the vines, cutting off what doesn't serve the vine anymore. Very much like we do in life, you know? I think in January, everyone's trying to pick out the new things they're going to do, but also shedding some of the bad habits that, don't serve them anymore. When we get to spring, the rain has come. We're going to have some flowering, some fruit set on the vine, and that's exciting. And that's where you start to try new things. You set some new goals for the year, and you're working on them. You know, things that started in January start to progress in March and April. Then we get summer. Summer is, the fruit is here, and the grapes are ripening and they're getting bigger. You know, and you got to trim again though, because the green on the vine is growing so pervasively. They're like, we need a little bit of the sun to hit the grapes. So you're taking all the goals and the hobbies you've started this year, and maybe you're trimming back some of the ones that are just getting in the way, that aren't going to help you in the end. And then the scariest bit is harvest. That's when we pick the grapes. Scary because a lot of it's out of your control. Like if you don't pick at the right time, then the grape's going to be maybe too acidic. If you pick too late, maybe you're going to have too much alcohol. And a lot of it's up to the weather. It's up to the surroundings. And even if you did everything right, it could go wrong. And then true fear, when it's your turn to make the wine and you're fermenting it, and again, maybe it doesn't go that well. Maybe the choices you make don't get you the outcome you want, or maybe you didn't even pick an outcome, and you're gonna get a whatever you get wine, and whatever you get kind of a life. And it's tricky. I've been thinking a lot about this recently because my year was going well. I was in a movie, I was in really good shape, the wine bar's going good, I started this YouTube channel, and when I went to go harvest my vintage, I had to say goodbye to someone I was in love with, because we're not the right people for each other. And then my health took a turn for the worse, and I had to really look at my own mortality and say, man, what am I doing? So the question I want to ask you, and that I've been asking myself a lot, is if your 2025 vintage of your life was a bottle of wine, how excited would you be to share that with people you love and respect? And I want to give you a caveat before you answer. It's that we actually don't know what the last year is going to give to us. You know, there's been a lot of pain going through me, and perhaps it's exactly what I need to become the person I want to be in 2026 for whatever's ahead of me. So, how was your 2025 vintage? And you know what? If you don't feel good about it, you know what's wonderful? And every winemaker who's had a bad vintage will tell you, you can't do anything about it now, but you can focus on the vintage you're in. So if you need to prune stuff out of your life, do it. If you need to set some new goals, do it. If you need to try something like social media and posting every day, do it. Because what's the worst that can happen? This vintage is going to happen with you or without you. So why not be a little bit more hands-on in your approach and make it the best vintage you can?